Chapter 46. Tricked. The beasts searched every corner of the house, but they still couldn't find Lin Nuannuan. Yakia had to accept this. He said, maybe she went somewhere else. She couldn't have left this rock mountain anyway. Go somewhere else and keep looking. Just the thought of that little female's delicate and soft body made him drool. No matter what, he had to have her. The footsteps overhead faded. Lin Nuannuan heaved a sigh of relief. She took out all the hides stored in the cellar and distributed them to the females so that they could find a spot to rest. After settling down, Lin Nuannuan helped Mu Sheng lie down on a clean and thick animal hide. Then, she took a wooden stick for her to bite so that she wouldn't bite her tongue. Lin Nuannuan lowered her voice and whispered in her ear, "For the sake of the children in your stomach, no matter how uncomfortable it is, you can't scream. Do you understand?" Mu Sheng tried to keep her eyes open. She stared at the ceiling and nodded. All 5 of her mates were dead. They died protecting her and their children. She had to have the babies. She wanted to avenge her mates. Hatred gave birth to hope and a fighting spirit. Mu Sheng grabbed the animal hide under her and bit the wooden stick. She endured the tearing pain and pushed the child out of her womb. Lin Nuannuan had never given birth before, nor did she know how to deliver babies. However, the other females had all given birth before. Some of them knew how to deliver babies. Hence, the task of delivering the babies was handed over to the 2 experienced females. Lin Nuannuan stood by the side to help. After much effort, everyone finally helped Mu Sheng give birth. There were a total of 9 wolf cubs. Exhausted, Mu Sheng only had time to glance at the 9 cubs before her eyes closed and she fainted. Lin Nuannuan carefully wiped the mucus off the little wolf cubs and gently placed them beside Mu Sheng. Then, she carefully wiped Mu Zhang's body. The 9 wolf cubs were very small, only the size of Lin Nuannuan's palm. They were naked, and their skin was pink and tender. They looked especially like rats. Lin Nuannuan extended her finger and gently poked one of the wolf cubs. The little rat immediately opened his mouth and bit her fingertips. The little wolf cub had no teeth and could only lick her fingers. Lin Nuannuan felt a little itchy from the licking. In order to prevent her from laughing, she quickly retracted her finger and made a gesture at the 9 wolf cubs, indicating that they should not make a sound. She didn't know if they understood, but they were very quiet the rest of the time. When the females saw the cute little wolf cubs, the uneasiness in their hearts faded a little. They couldn't help but smile in relief. Seeing these little lives was like seeing hope. Lin Nuannuan took out dried meat and pickled vegetables, distributing them to the females. After eating the food, everyone seemed to be in better spirits. Only when there were occasional footsteps above their heads did they tremble like frightened birds. Lin Nuannuan let them sit around each other, leaning on each other for warmth. The females gradually calmed down, and the fear in their hearts dissipated. Although no one spoke, these females had already unanimously treated Lin Nuannuan as their backbone and trusted her more and more. Lin Nuannuan did not know about the psychological changes in these females. She was still worried about the situation outside. She wondered how Lang Zhu was doing. She was still sick and very weak. After the shock and torment, she felt her head begin to hurt again. Her muscles were sore, and her body was exhausted. His eyelids grew heavier and heavier. Unconsciously, she closed her eyes and fell asleep. One of the females picked up a piece of hide and carefully covered her. As he chased after Ma King, Xuangyun realized that something was wrong. Ma King kept dodging them, but after running for a while, he would stop. When Xuangyun caught up, he would continue to dodge with his clansmen. Ma King's actions made it seem like he was deliberately keeping them in suspense. The more Xuangyun thought about it, the more uneasy he felt. He felt like something terrible was about to happen. After chasing Ma King for 3 days, Xuangyun finally couldn't hold it in anymore. He decisively gave up on the pursuit and ignored Ma King's deliberate bait. He quickly returned to the rock mountain with 200 clansmen. When Ma King saw that they were going back, he immediately chased after them with his men, trying to stop Xuangyun. This made Xuangyun feel even more uneasy. Why was Ma King stopping them from going back? Was it because something would happen when they returned? A thought flashed through Xuangyun's mind. He suddenly thought of the rock mountain. He thought of his clansmen who were guarding the mountain. Oh no! We've been tricked! Xuangyun was anxious and angry. He wished he could grow wings and fly back to the rock mountain immediately. However, Ma King and the beasts of the Black River Wolf tribe refused to let them go back. Xuangyun was finally angry. The huge frost silver wolf howled at the sky and jumped over to the enemy's side. The moment he landed, the fluffy snow immediately froze into ice and spread rapidly around him. Ma King, who had always been calm, changed his expression slightly and exclaimed, "A one-star soul beast." He didn't expect Xuangyun to have awakened a soul beast. After beasts awaken their soul beasts, they would become soul beasts. The difference in combat strength between soul beasts and ordinary beasts was extremely great. Furthermore, Frost Silver Wolf was a species that was born with ice attributes. After evolving into a soul beast, its lethality far exceeded ordinary soul beasts. The beasts closest to Xuangyun were all frozen by the snow. Xuangyun suddenly swung his wolf tail and smashed all the frozen beasts. In the blink of an eye, he had killed dozens of enemies, as expected of a soul beast. Ma King thought to himself, "I miscalculated." Almost all of the 200 people he had brought out this time were being led by Yakia to attack the Rock Wolf tribe. There were not many by Ma King's side. They were no match for Xuangyun. Ma King shouted, "Retreat!" The beasts who weren't frozen gathered around him and fled. Xuangyun did not chase after them. He immediately led the 200 beasts straight to the rock mountain. At the same time, Baidi sensed danger. He immediately gave up on the mission to continue searching for Sang Yi and rushed home with Jiu Yuan and the others. Baidi, Xuangyun, and the others returned to the rock mountain almost one after another. When they walked into the cave, their eyes turned red from the scene in front of them. The entire cave was full of blood, and the thick smell of blood filled the air. The beasts that had been brutally killed were lying on the ground, their corpses broken. Their originally warm home had now become hell. Xuangyun felt as if someone was choking him. He could barely breathe. How did this happen? Baidi barely managed to suppress his fear as he rushed into the cave and ran home. At his door, he saw Lang Ju lying in a pool of blood. There were constant cries. They were the cries of the males who had returned home and saw their dead mates and family. Chapter 47. Revenge. In his days, Lin Nuannuan seemed to hear intense collisions and heart-wrenching screams. She wanted to wake up, but she couldn't open her eyes. Vaguely, she thought she heard someone gently call her name in her ears. Huan Huan. Who was calling her? Lin Nuannuan found the voice familiar. She thought about it for a long time and finally remembered that it was Bai Dai's voice. Was she dreaming? If so, she hoped the dream would last forever. Mu Sheng brought the 9 cubs to visit. The originally naked wolf cubs had already grown soft fur. They looked like 9 round balls of fur. They sauntered into the house after their mother. It was a very lovely sight. Bai Di took a bag of jerky for the wolf pups to grind their teeth. Huan Huan had marinated the meat with seasonings before drying them. It was fragrant but a little hard. The wolf pups ate with relish. Mu Sheng glanced in the direction of the bedroom and asked worriedly, "Is Huan Huan still unconscious?" Bai Di nodded his head. Mu Sheng sighed. "It's been 3 days. Why isn't she awake? If only the old witch doctor were still around, he would know what to do." However, the old witch doctor had gone to another world. All that was left for them was a broken corpse. Xuangyun had been busy dealing with the matters of the wolf tribe in the past few days. He needed to collect the remains of his clansmen and see who had sacrificed themselves this time. He also had to clean the blood in the cave and calculate how much food was left in the tribe. There were many things to do. Xuangyun was extremely busy. He had not rested much in these 3 days. By the time he got home, he looked extremely tired. Mu Sheng had already left with her cubs. Bai Di was feeding Huan Huan. He fed the crushed fruits into Huan Huan's mouth. She couldn't eat, but he couldn't keep her hungry. So Bai Di thought of the sourcing leaf fruit. It was very nourishing to the female's body. It should help her a little, right? Xuangyun walked in and stared at Huan's face for a long time. He suddenly asked, "Will she keep sleeping and never wake up?" Bai Dai's hand trembled, but he said with absolute certainty, "She'll wake up." It was unknown if these words were meant for Xuangyun or for himself. Xuangyun stopped talking. He walked over and lowered his head to kiss her forehead. Then, he nuzzled her cheek. Huan, wake up." Lin Nuannuan only woke up the next morning. She felt a terrible headache coming on. Bai Di, who was sleeping beside her, woke up immediately. He picked up the little female and asked nervously, "How are you? Are you feeling unwell?" After a while, Lin Nuannuan recovered from her headache and asked hoarsely, "Where are we? This is our home. Don't you remember?" Lin Nuannuan looked around, then shook her head and frowned. "I feel like I've forgotten many things." Bai Di asked quickly, "Do you remember me then?" Lin Nuannuan stared at him for a long time. Bai Di tensed. Had she really forgotten about him? Lin Nuannuan suddenly chuckled. "Of course, I remember you. You're my mate. We have a mate contract." Bai Di was relieved. He squeezed Huan's palm and said helplessly, "Naughty girl." After learning that Huan had woken up, Xuangyun rushed back immediately. He saw Huan sitting there alive and immediately rushed forward to pick her up. He buried his face in her neck, but his tone was still as arrogant as before. "You're finally awake. If you didn't wake up, I would've. Lin Nuannuan raised her eyebrows. "You would've what?" I would have mated with you." Lin Nuannuan immediately blushed. She wrapped her arms around his neck and stroked his short silver-white hair. "Hooligan," she whispered. Bai Di joined in and lowered his head to kiss Huan's cheek. "I made broth. Come and drink it while it's hot." Over the past few days, Bai Di and Xuangyun had been worried about Huan's safety. They barely ate a proper meal. When they were hungry, they would eat some jerky. When they were thirsty, they would stuff a ball of snow into their mouths. Now that Huan had woken up, the two of them could finally relax. They also had the appetite to eat. Bai Dai's cooking was getting better. The soup was delicious. The three of them quickly finished the entire pot of soup. Lin Nuannuan touched her bulging stomach and sighed in satisfaction. "Fortunately, they didn't snatch this pot from us, otherwise we wouldn't have such delicious meat soup." The pot had been sitting in the corner of the kitchen. When Bai Di and Xuangyun returned, they saw that it was overturned and covered in dust. Bai Di said, "They don't know what it is or how to use it. That's why they didn't take it. If they knew how useful it was, those greedy people from the Black River Wolf tribe would definitely have snatched it away." Xuangyun suddenly said, "We have to go down the mountain tomorrow." "Huh?" Lin Nuannuan was very surprised. "Why?" "There's not enough food in the tribe. After the massacre at the Rock Mountain, all the food and animal hides in the cave had been looted. Now, there was only food in the cellar of Huan's house, but the food here was not enough to support more than 200 beasts. Winter was not over yet. They had to find a way to find enough food to survive the winter, otherwise they would have to starve." Bai Di glanced at Xuangyun and asked, "Are you planning to go down the mountain to hunt? The snow has sealed the mountain, and the animals in the forest have hidden and gone into hibernation. It's difficult for you to catch prey. Even if you catch a few, it won't be enough for so many of you." "I know. That's why I'm not going hunting. I'm going to rob." Lin Nuannuan couldn't help but ask, "Who are you planning to rob?" "We'll rob whoever stole from us." "You plan to rob the Black River Wolf tribe, but there are many of them. You might not be a match for them. It's too dangerous." Xuangyun's eyes were ferocious. "No matter how dangerous it is, I have to get the food back. Not only that, I have to take revenge on them. They killed so many of our Rock Wolf tribe members. I definitely can't let them off." Lin Nuannuan recalled Leng Zhu's last words. Indeed, they had to take revenge. They could not let their dead clansmen die in vain. Lin Nuannuan took the wolf fang necklace off her neck and handed it to Xuangyun. "The old witch doctor asked me to pass this to you." Chapter 48. Kill each other. Xuangyun gripped the wolf fang necklace tightly. his eyes turning slightly red. He suddenly stood up and walked out of the house in silence. Lin Nuannuan quickly got up and chased after him. When she found Xuangyun, she saw him squatting at the entrance of the cave and looking out. She saw his spine quiver and his shoulders rise and fall. Lin Nuannuan couldn't help but stop in her tracks. She stood where she was and looked at his back silently. As proud as Xuangyun was, he probably didn't want anyone to see him weak. She waited for a long time until Xuangyun's back stopped trembling. Then, she walked over and sat down beside him. Xuangyun's expression had returned to normal, if not for the redness at the corners of his eyes revealing the traces of his crying. Lin Nuannuan might have just thought he was sitting here and admiring the snow. He was still holding the wolf fang necklace in his hand. He looked at the ice sculptures outside the cave, thinking about something. All the remains of the wolves were placed at the entrance of the cave. Ice and snow had fallen on them, freezing them into ice sculptures. It was impossible to tell who was who. Even after several days, their corpses showed no signs of decay. Lang Zhu's remains were among them. After a long time, Huan heard Xuangyun's hoarse voice. "My father died very early. The female who gave birth to me only knows how to enjoy herself. She doesn't care about my life at all. I was forced to follow behind the adults to learn how to hunt. In the end, because I wasn't experienced enough, I was careless and my leg was bitten by a wild beast. I was carried back, but the female didn't even look at me. She was still having fun. I could only hide in my room alone and watch the wound rot every day. I felt like my father's corpse after he died." He suddenly laughed at himself. His dark green eyes seemed to be covered in frost and were lifeless. Lin Nuannuan was already used to the arrogant Xuangyun. When she saw his expression that was close to despair, she felt as if her heart was blocked by something. She couldn't resist taking his hand. Xuangyun woke from his dark memories. He saw that the little female was looking at him worriedly, and his heart warmed. His cold and gloomy mood was immediately dispelled. He took the opportunity to pull her into his arms and lowered his head to kiss her fair face. He continued, "I was injured and couldn't participate in the hunt anymore. I had finished eating all the remaining food in the house. I could only welcome death on an empty stomach." Lin Nuannuan hugged his neck tightly and rubbed his chin like a little rabbit comforting a big bad wolf. Xuangyun touched the back of her neck. "Later, the old witch doctor discovered that I was injured. He treated my injuries and gave me food. Then, he personally taught me how to hunt. He was both like my teacher and my father. My life changed because of him. I respect him very, very much. I even planned that when he got too old to walk in the future, I could take good care of him until he died. However, I didn't expect him to leave in such a hurry. Why was he so impatient? In the end, he couldn't help but tear up again. He lowered his head and buried his face in Lin Nuannuan's neck. Lin Nuannuan felt her neck getting wet. She gently stroked Xuangyun's back as if she were stroking a big dog that had been injured. The crystal-clear ice sculptures stood in the night like heroes at the end of the road, lonely and sad. Xuangyun went to discuss the plan to deal with the Black River Wolf tribe with the beasts in the tribe. He didn't return until very late. Lin Nuannuan looked at his frown and asked tentatively, "How did the discussion go?" "It didn't go well. This was expected. After all, the Black River tribe had 3 times the number of the Rock Wolf tribe. It would definitely not be easy to deal with them." Lin Nuannuan said slowly, "Eat something first. We'll help you think of a solution later." Xuangyun looked at her obedient and cute appearance. He couldn't help but lower his head to kiss the corner of her mouth. Before she could react, he pulled a face and pretended nothing had happened. He quickly turned around and left. Lin Nuannuan watched him run away and couldn't help but laugh. Why is this guy so awkward? After dinner, Xuangyun prepared to go back and continue thinking about how to deal with the enemy. Lin Nuannuan blocked his way. "Where do you want to go? Didn't we agree to discuss a plan together?" Xuangyun groaned twice. He had no intention of letting Nuannuan get involved in this. She had just recovered from a serious illness and needed to rest. She couldn't tire herself out. Fighting was a male's business. His little female just had to enjoy life at home. In the end, It was Bai Di who said, "Actually, you might not lose this round, although the Black River Wolf tribe has the advantage in numbers. They're not united. As long as we divide them slightly, we can make them kill each other." Shuang Yun immediately looked at him. "What do you have in mind? Let's sit down and talk." Bai Di didn't want to get involved in the wolf tribe's affairs, but the Black River Wolf tribe had gone too far this time. If not for Huan's cleverness, she might have been kidnapped when they returned home. He would not let go of anyone who dared to hurt Huan. Bai Di waited for Shuang Yun and Huan to sit down before continuing. The Black River Wolf tribe is made up of 14 different-sized groups. The two strongest groups are the Wolf Clan and the Wild Horse Clan. As far as I know, there has always been friction between the Wild Horse Clan and the Wolf Clan. If we can join forces with the Wild Horse group to deal with the Black River Wolf tribe, our chances of success should be much higher. Lin Nuannuan muttered softly. One eats meat while the other eats grass. The two of them are natural enemies. It would be strange if their relationship is good. Bai Di stroked her head. Last spring, the wild horses gave birth to a litter of cubs. In the end, a dozen of them were stolen by the greedy wolf beasts, and the two sides fought fiercely over it. Unfortunately, they were about the same strength. After fighting for a long time, there was no winner. In the end, the wild horses could only endure it. He said slowly, "This winter will pass quickly. The wild horses will definitely give birth again. Do you think they'll be worried that the beasts of the wolf clan will use the same trick to attack their cubs again? Once bitten, twice shy. After the wild horse clan suffered once, they definitely wouldn't let the wolves near their cubs again. However, how could they guard themselves against the wolves? To the wild horses, the best way to protect their cubs was to get the wolf clan out of the Black River Wolf tribe completely." Shuang Yun thought for a moment. "That's a good idea. But there's a problem. How can we make the Wild Horse Clan agree to join forces with us? Even if the Wild Horse Clan was unhappy with the Black River Wolf tribe, they might not trust the Rock Wolf tribe. After all, the Rock Wolf tribe was also a wolf tribe. In their eyes, all carnivores were equally detestable." Chapter 49. Special Mission. "There's no such thing as a permanent enemy," Bai Di said. "There are only permanent interests. If we give them enough, we can make them our allies." Shuang Yun looked thoughtful. "What do you mean?" Bai Di held out a black jewel pendant. "Show this to the leader of the Wild Horse Clan when you see him." Shuang Yun and Huan's gazes paused at the same time. Shuang Yun was very surprised. This is a high-level black crystal. Doesn't it only appear in high-level beast cities? How do you have such a precious crystal? Bai Di said. It was brought back by Huan. Shuang Yun immediately looked at Huan, who looked confused. She found the black gem pendant very familiar, but she couldn't remember how it had come about. She forgot about that memory due to her illness, but instinct told her that the black stone pendant was important to her. She couldn't abandon it. Lin Nuannuan couldn't help but ask, "Can you return this pendant to me after you finish using it?" Bai Di agreed readily. "Of course. It's yours. No one can take it." Lin Nuannuan was relieved. As long as the pendant could be returned to her. Bai Di said to Shuang Yun, "Tell the leader of the Wild Horse Clan that there were originally many high-level black crystals like this in the Rock Wolf tribe, but they were all snatched away by the Black River Wolf tribe. If the Wild Horse Clan cooperates with us, we'll give the black crystals to them." Lin Nuannuan asked carefully, "But we don't have that many black crystals. What should we give to the wild horses after this?" Bai Di smiled. "They'll have to ask the Black River Wolf tribe about that. After all, the Black River Wolf tribe stole the black crystals, only they know where they're hidden. What does it have to do with us?" Lin Nuannuan immediately felt that this handsome and gentle guy in front of her was really evil. The Black River Wolf tribe would never clear themselves of suspicion. Shuang Yun immediately decided, "We'll do as you say." Shuang Yun braved the snow and descended the mountain to quietly find the leader of the wild horses. Shuang Yun's suggestion of cooperation was a little tempting, but in the end, the leader of the Wild Horse Clan refused. Although the Black River Wolf tribe was very despicable, the Rock Wolf tribe might not be kind. The Wild Horse clan did not want to drive away the tiger at the front door and bring in wolves at the back. Xuangyun had long expected this reaction from the other party. He calmly took out the black gem pendant. Look at this. When the leader of the Wild Horse clan saw the black gem pendant, his eyes widened. He asked in shock, "A high-level black crystal? How do you have such a precious crystal? We originally had a lot of these crystals, but unfortunately, they were all snatched away by the Black River Wolf tribe. If you're willing to cooperate with us, those black crystals will all be yours. I just need to take back the supplies that were snatched away. What do you think?" The eyes of the Wild Horse clan's leader followed the black gem pendant. He couldn't help but swallow. If such precious crystals could be owned by the Wild Horse clan, the Wild Horse clan would definitely become the most powerful clan on this land. In the future, they could use black crystals to exchange for all kinds of rare materials from beast cities. They might even be able to obtain the qualifications to live in a beast city. Just thinking about that scene made the leader of the Wild Horse clan excited. He gritted his teeth and agreed to Xuangyun's suggestion. "We'll work together." Xuangyun took back the black gem pendant and smiled. A wise choice. Xuangyun returned to the rock mountain and returned the black gem pendant to Lin Nuannuan. Lin Nuannuan carefully hung the pendant around her neck. She gently touched the black gem and kept thinking about how she had obtained this pendant. The long-awaited system prompt suddenly rang out in her mind. "Congratulations to the host for triggering a special mission. Please collect crystals of 5 different colors. After the mission is completed, the host will receive a special reward." Lin Nuannuan was stunned. This was the first time she had triggered a special mission. What was the special reward mentioned by the system? It sounded very impressive. Lin Nuannuan immediately asked Xuangyun, "Are these crystals difficult to obtain?" Being watched by the little female's sparkling eyes, Xuangyun felt especially happy. If he were in his original form, the wolf tail behind him would definitely be wagging. He raised his chin. Crystals are a special energy gem. Soul beasts can absorb energy from crystals to strengthen themselves. Almost all the mines that can produce crystals are controlled by the beast cities. It's very difficult for ordinary tribes to obtain crystals. Lin Nuannuan couldn't help but be disappointed. Then wouldn't it be very difficult for me to gather 5 crystals of different colors? Why do you want so many crystals? Lin Nuannuan stammered and could not answer. Seeing that she didn't say anything, Xuangyun didn't continue asking. He casually threw the animal hide bag he carried to her. "Take it." Lin Nuannuan quickly caught the hide bag. She opened the bag and saw more than 10 crystals inside. They were all transparent, colorless crystals the size of fingernails. Lin Nuannuan asked slowly, "Are these also crystals?" The system gave an answer. "Yes." Xuangyun thought that she was talking to him, so he snorted. "Of course. They're crystals. Colored crystals are very rare. Most of the currencies circulating among the tribes are crystal coins polished from colorless crystals." Lin Nuannuan suddenly remembered that when she went to the market with Baidi had taken out crystal coins to buy many things. It turned out that crystal coins were equivalent to money. Lin Nuannuan took out a crystal coin and returned the animal hide bag to Xuangyun. "I only need 1 crystal." Xuangyun frowned and said, "Take what I give you." After finding a mate, the males in other families would hand over all their assets to the females. This meant that they had become a family, and all their assets would belong to the females. Previously, Xuangyun had already moved all his food and hides into the cellar of Nuannuan's house. Only these crystal coins had always been with him. Since she liked them, he would give them all to her. But Nuannuan refused to accept his crystal coins. Was it because he had too few crystal coins? Xuangyun immediately said, "When spring comes, I'll definitely be able to hunt a lot of prey. I'll exchange all those prey for crystals. I can get as many as you want." Lin Nuannuan quickly waved her hand. "No need. Those are your prey. You can keep them for yourself." Xuangyun was instantly unhappy. "Are you looking down on me?" Lin Nuannuan's hair stood on end from his glare. She stammered, No, no. If you aren't looking down on me, why aren't you willing to accept my things? Lin Nuannuan did not understand what he meant and could not answer. Seeing that she was silent, Xuang Yun was even more certain of his guess. He was so angry that he turned around and left. He ran so fast that Lin Nuannuan could not catch up to him. She had no choice but to put away the bag of crystal coins. She planned to keep them well and return them to Xuang Yun when he needed money in the future. Chapter 50. She couldn't live without them. Lin Nuannuan carried out all the food in the cellar and distributed it to the other beasts in the tribe in case they went hungry. Every beast who took the food from her was filled with gratitude. The gloom caused by the deaths of their people gradually dissipated. As long as they were alive, there was hope. Lin Nuannuan did not know about the psychological changes in the beasts. She could only feel that everyone's spirits seemed to have improved a little and they were no longer as depressed as before. Her mood lightened considerably. While cleaning up the cellar, Lin Nuannuan found some sweet fruit pits in the corner. She had dug the pits out of the sweet fruits when she made the jam before this. She didn't know what use they had, but she found it a pity to throw them away. Hence, she piled them in a corner of the cellar. She counted, and there were about 100 pits. At this moment, a system notification suddenly sounded in her mind. Congratulations to the host for collecting 300 seeds and completing the third task of the winter season series. Rewards will be granted soon. Please check. As soon as the notification ended, a plump black seed appeared in front of Lin Nuannuan. She picked up the seed and examined it. It looked a little like a black bean, but it was slightly bigger than that. Leaning closer, she could smell the faint scent of vegetation. Lin Nuannuan asked the system, "What seed is this?" System 438 replied, "It is the seed of the divine wood." Divine wood? Lin Nuannuan had never heard of such a plant. She immediately flipped through the sheepskin book from beginning to end, but still could not find any records of divine wood. System number 438 said, "The divine wood is a divine level plant. The ancient flora and flora illustrations that you currently possess is only the first volume. There are only records of low-level plants and animals in it." Lin Nuannuan asked, "Do you mean that if I want to know what the divine wood is, I have to continue collecting the other books?" "Yes," Lin Nuannuan deliberately asked. "Then if I gather all 7 books, can I summon the divine dragon?" After a while, System 438 replied, "I'm sorry. The divine dragon doesn't belong to this world and can't be summoned." Hearing the serious answer, Lin Nuannuan couldn't help but chuckle. "I was just joking with you, but you actually took it seriously." System 438. The system was depressed that it had been teased by its host, but it could not say it. Lin Nuannuan asked, "How do I plant this seed? Just bury it in the soil." System 438. "No need to plant it. Just eat it." Lin Nuannuan was surprised. "Why? It's a dead seed. You can't grow it. You have to eat it." Lin Nuannuan was a little unhappy. "I spent so much effort to complete the mission, but you actually gave me a dead seed." System 438 played dead and said nothing. Lin Nuannuan had no choice but to throw the seed into her mouth. Strangely, the seed seemed to have a mind of its own. Before she could chew it, it slipped down her throat. Lin Nuannuan subconsciously touched her throat. "This seed isn't poisonous, right?" If System 438 had any thoughts, it would definitely be complaining about her at this moment. She had already eaten it, so wasn't it a little too late to ask if the seed was poisonous? The system said, "It's not poisonous." "Then what good will it do me to eat it?" "The divine wood is the source of all wood. Its seeds increase your affinity for nature." Lin Nuannuan did not seem to understand. "What do you mean? Can you explain in more detail?" System 438 replied seriously, "Sorry, the host doesn't have the relevant permission. That's all I can explain for now." Lin Nuannuan, who had hit a dead end, expressed her disappointment. The mission of collecting the seeds was completed, but the hundreds of seeds were not taken away by the system. They were still in Lin Nuannuan's hands. She gathered up the seeds, intending to plant them when spring came. The primitive society did not have much, but they had a lot of land resources. They could plant whatever they wanted and did not have to worry about spending money to buy land. Xuangyun packed his luggage, brought the 2 large barrels of wine, and led 200 beasts down the mountain. Their goal this time was to join forces with the Wild Horse tribe to deal with the Black River Wolf tribe. Lin Nuannuan stood at the entrance of the cave and watched them leave. The group of more than 200 beasts looked huge, but after they walked away, they were just a string of black dots in her eyes. Fortunately, it was a nice day. There was neither wind nor snow. They were going to war this time. As long as it was war, there would definitely be casualties. Lin Nuannuan could not help much. She could only pray silently for Xuangyun to not be injured. Baidi draped a piece of hide over her. "It's windy here," he said gently. "You've just recovered and you're still weak. Go back before you catch another cold." He and the other 30 beasts stayed behind to protect the females and cubs in the tribe. As a 3-star soul beast, Baidi's strength far exceeded everyone else. With him protecting the females, the other male beasts were at ease. At night, Lin Nuannuan lay alone on the stone bed. She turned over several times before falling asleep. She saw Xuangyun in her dreams. He fell to the snow, covered in wounds and blood. Yakia walked up to him and smiled sinisterly. He extended his wolf claws and grabbed Xuangyun's neck. "No!" Lin Nuannuan was suddenly woken up. She was breathing hard. Her face was covered in a cold sweat. Her heart was beating very fast. The scene in her dream left her with lingering fear. She couldn't help but tighten her grip on the pouch filled with crystal coins. She closed her eyes and called out softly, "Xuangyun." Lin Nuannuan suddenly regretted it. She shouldn't have run away when Xuangyun had asked to mate. She should have agreed to complete the mating ritual with him and bear him a child. That way, even if something happened to Xuangyun on the battlefield, she could still leave behind a bloodline for him. It was all her fault for being too pretentious. She had already agreed to be his mate. She had already fallen for him. Why did she still refuse to mate with him? If Xuangyun really did not return this time, she would definitely regret it for the rest of her life. Baidi, who was sleeping next door, heard the commotion and walked in. When he saw how uncomfortable Lin Nuannuan was, he quickly helped her up. "What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell?" Lin Nuannuan's face was pale as she said in a trembling voice, "I just had a dream that Xuangyun was killed. I was so afraid." Baidi wiped the cold sweat from her face and comforted her gently, saying, "Don't be afraid. It was just a dream. It's not real. Xuangyun will return safely." Lin Nuannuan looked at his handsome face and couldn't help but hug his neck tightly. "You won't leave me, will you? Neither of you will leave me, will you?" They were all her family, the people closest to her in the world. She couldn't live without them. Baidi took the opportunity to pull her into his arms. "Of course, we'll never leave you." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Nuannuan took the initiative to lean over and kiss him hard on the lips.